Rihanna and ASAP Rocky. I mean, the 32-year-old singer, we've learned, is dating her longtime friend, rapper ASAP Rocky. A source at the time told ET that the two have always had amazing chemistry, and Rihanna relates to ASAP, and it feels natural, easy, and fun. The source goes on to say she feels very comfortable around him since they've known each other for such a long time, and also feels a connection to him because his dad is from Barbados. But I am so here for this because they were friends first. And while they
Mhm.
sparked romance rumors back in January when they were like laughing backstage at a benefit concert, and then Rihanna used him in the Fenty skincare line. More than anything, these two ended up just being, friends that turned into lovers, and I am here for it.
They say the best relationships start as friendships, Denny. And I
Yeah.
know you and I have had like little text conversations about this romance, and we both ship this couple because I feel
Shit.
like they are just on the same level. You have to be like a certain caliber to date someone like Rihanna, and vice versa. I mean, this is someone who's not just a powerhouse in the music industry. She's an entrepreneur, a businesswoman. She is very family oriented. And to have that family connection, like you mentioned, his dad being from Barbados, is huge, I feel like, for
I
these
agree.
two. So I'm going to put it out there. 2021 may bring really good vibes for these two, possibly end game.
And you know what? For someone who is as private with their dating life as Rihanna is, I feel like this might be the relationship that she kind of flaunts a little bit more for us, whether on social media, red carpets, if those ever come back in 2021.
Love is in the air, and it's not just only for Rihanna and ASAP Rocky. Denny, you want to talk about a couple that is flaunting their relationship on social media and being very public? We got to talk about Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox. This was the duo we probably never expected for 2020, but of course, following Megan Fox's split from her now ex Brian Austin Green, this is a romance I feel like completely out of left field, but you know what? Dare I say it? I am here for it. These two were spotted packing on the packing on PDA. See, you know what? They got me speechless, Daddy. They got me stumbling over my words. This romance right here. They've been packing on PDA for the last few months during dinner dates, and then it just the notch just kept turning and getting steamier and steamier. As you see, this is Megan appearing in the music video for Machine Gun Kelly's song Bloody Valentine. And you
Mhm.
know what's interesting about these two is that Megan said that the chemistry was very instant between the two of them and on set. And she said that she looked into his eyes. This is the craziest little quote ever. She says, I looked into his eyes and I felt the most pristine, most gentle, most pure spirit. My heart shattered immediately, and I just knew that I was messed up, basically. She used an expletive
Ooh,
there, but we cannot say it.
she was
So,
smitten. She was smitten.
they're smitten. And I feel like, you know what? These two are very spiritual beings, and I feel like they connect on that level. They've been very open about how they feel like each other is their soulmate, their twin flame, someone that was specifically designed for them in life. And I feel like Megan brings out a really good side of Machine Gun Kelly. He has been very open lately about how he is going into therapy for the first time in his life, and he's now working through his own issues because he has someone who he wants to be better for. And you know what? To be honest with you, that's a really healthy relationship. I know a lot of people might look at these two and be like, what in the heck? Like, this is kind of a mismatch here. But you know what? It's not about looks, it's not about what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside, and what they share together. And I think this is actually a really healthy couple.
I'm here for it. But you know who's giving them a run for their money, though, that really got my attention this year was Common and Tiffany Haddish. They first met while filming the 2019 movie The Kitchen, and she insisted that there wasn't anything sexual or anything like that because her eyes were set on something else at the time. But then fast forward to 2020, Common and Tiffany re-met over Bumble, struck up a conversation, went on a first date via a feature on the app, and made the most of their time apart by spending it together. And next thing you know, they were official come August 2020. Take a look.
Virtual date. Well, let's go. Hello. Welcome to the virtual dating world.
You look very beautiful.
You're looking very handsome yourself.
I feel like, just like you were talking about Machine Gun Kelly and Megan
Mhm.
Fox, I wouldn't have immediately put these two together, but now that it's happened, oh, do I ship it? I ship it so hard, and you're already seeing kind of the impact this relationship has had on both of
Mhm.
them. Tiffany has said this is the happiest she's ever been, a man who's
Aw.
really treating her right. And then for Common, he was nominated for People's Sexiest Man Alive. Take a listen to Common on the Tamron Hall show on how his girlfriend contributed to his nomination.
Well, look, listen, she contributed to a certain degree, but only by inspired. I'm inspired when you have a great partner. You want to look good. You want to make them proud too.
But for all these amazing hookups, there were a couple breakups you got to get into, huh,
Mhm.
Cass?
We sure do. For as many relationships as we shipped any, there were a few this year that did sink. And I'm talking about Demi Lovato and Max Eric. Actually, they quickly sailed and then quickly sunk.
It was a hookup to a breakup.
Very, very, very quickly. So ET confirmed back in September that the duo had decided to go their separate ways just 2 months after getting engaged. They first sparked dating rumors back in March after getting flirty on social media. And you know what they say about, posting a relationship on social media? Sometimes it can be the doom of death, because we saw it all play out and then all of a sudden it was over. They quarantined together. They spent a lot of time together and then really shocked everybody in July when they got engaged. So the big question, obviously, between these two is what went wrong? Well, at the time of their split, a source told ET that things took a turn when the COVID restrictions lifted, saying, quote, Demi and Max's relationship shifted once the couple got back to work and were separated. Was in Atlanta at the time working on set, and Demi was in LA, and the couple was just used to being together, and the separation made them realize they were moving too fast. And it's interesting because usually distance makes the heart grow fonder, and in this case it was the opposite between the two.
Right. You got a little taste of like life without them. And I feel like I don't know if someone came knocking on her door or called her up and gave her a heads up on a few things, but all of a sudden her she changed her mind. And what was crazy for me is how messy it got. Like when Max took to Instagram claiming that he found out about their breakup, quote, through a tabloid. Well, however, a source told ET that simply wasn't the case, and Max was told the relationship was over before the news of the split was made public. But that didn't stop him from going public with his sappiness too. I had to give him an unfollow after this one. I'm not even gonna lie, Cass.
Honestly, so did I, Denny. And their romance was short-lived, but another shocking breakup that we saw this year for a romance that was very long term was Kristin Cavallari and Jay Cutler. I'm not gonna lie, this was one of those celebrity news stories that when I got the notification in my email, I was like, "What? Really?" Because we thought these two, I mean, they had been together for 7 years at that point of marriage alone, and even together longer than that.
For
They
longer.
have children together, and so to see this couple fall apart, I was very shocked. This news especially came after their isolation in the Bahamas with their kids. So from an outside perspective, you see what appeared to be a happy couple on a vacation with their children, and then all of a sudden they were announcing in a joint statement that they were going their own separate ways.
And you didn't see it play out in Very Cavallari either, Kristen's reality show. I mean, for starters, he was probably one of the best parts of this reality show, but they did keep
Mhm.
most of their tough times away from the camera. So again, from an outside perspective, it looked like everything was fine. But we did learn from Kristen, who exclusively told ET that the divorce was a long time coming. Here's a look at her first on-camera interview with us after she announced their split.
It was not an easy decision, obviously, and it was something that I truly thought about every single day for over 2 years. And it was the hardest decision that I have ever made. But I don't know. My mom used to say, "You'll know. You'll know when it's time." And I feel like that was true. I knew. I knew. I met Jay when I was 23. I was a kid. And so, but we tried. We tried everything. And Jay and I had so much love for each other. No one could ever take that away from us. But at the end of the day, we weren't happy.
Mm.
How's this for a split no one expected? Jason Sudeikis and Olivia Wilde. I literally remember coming home from the airport and this news broke, and I was a little bit shook. I really was because I love these two together. But you know what's more, sources tell us they actually ended things at the beginning of 2020 after 9 years together. A source told ET at the time there was absolutely no drama or scandal involved in their breakup. They just didn't work as a couple anymore. They had been together since 2011, engaged since 2012, and the source added, quote, they consider themselves friends and co-parents first and foremost. They are committed to co-parenting successfully for the sake of Otis and Daisy and have done a great job so far at staying connected in a healthy way for their relationship and for their children. I mean, come on, did this catch you by surprise too, Cass?
It shook me, but I will say I love the way that they are able to co-parent and have such a mutual love and respect for each other. And it's very obvious because just one day before announcing their split, Jason actually gushed to ET about how Olivia was handling having to kind of stop down her production on her movie. And, you know, he really, like I said, he has that just this high level of respect for her. Take a listen to what he had to say.
It's amazing to see her resilience and she just, you know, she's just works her butt off. She's editing the stuff they already shot, you know, she's using her time, you know, and she has so many other projects in the works that she, you know, she's kicks ass that way.
And again, that happened in November. So at that point, that interview. So at that point, they had already split, and we had no idea.
Split,
And yet
right.
he was still talking about her, which should not come as a surprise. Again, our source has said that Jason and Olivia adore each other and have nothing but the utmost respect for one another.
And their focus
Oh,
is on their children, Denny, and that's exactly what brings us to this next couple
yeah.
who split this past year, Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock. These two filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. You know, I mentioned the kids because as we see this divorce plays out, a lot of it does come back to the two children that they share, 6-year-old River and 4-year-old Remington. These two have been married for 7 years. And then, of course, Brandon is also dad to 2 kids from a previous marriage. And we're learning more about this separation through court documents obtained by ET that have been filed between the two. Initially, Kelly was awarded primary custody of the children, even though the two initially requested joint legal and physical custody of their kids. But you know what's interesting is as more and more docs come out, they're kind of painting a different picture about this divorce. There's a quote from one of the docs that says the level of conflict between the parents has increased. The parties have a difficult time co-parenting due to issues of trust between them. And what's so, you know, tough for someone like Kelly, who is in this position of, you know, fame and having her own talk show, all of this is playing out in, you know, in headlines and in the media. And it's something that she opened up to ET's Rachel Smith about in October about how this divorce was impacting her kids. Take a listen.
There's a lot of hearts involved here. And, you know, that's the thing that's been kind of hard to navigate is I am an open book, but at some point I'm a mama bear more than I am a person in the public eye. So I care 100% more about my children than I do anything else on this planet. So that's been the hard thing of like, yes, I'm willing to share my experience. And yes, it is the worst. I mean, the past few months have been horribly sad. But at the same time, I have to think, like what I say is a domino effect into other people's lives.